Welcome back to Keep It Thorough. I'm your host, Pete Proper, and with me is
Nate the Truth.
And today we will explore the changing of the guard. Will the NBA phase out the big man? Also, we will conclude with the golden ring theory.
Oh, yeah.
Is it smart for players to take pay cuts to win championships? Money or championships? Smart or not so smart? But first, we're going to dive right into the changing of the guard.
All right.
When we say changing of the guard in the NBA, what exactly do we mean, Nate?
Now, what we mean by changing the guard is literally the changing of the guard, meaning this, that now we're seeing the peak of the rise of the guards taking hold of the game. And this is what I mean by that. At one point in time, and I'm not sure how far back your knowledge is with the NBA and how basketball goes in the professional world, but in order to win that golden ring we was talking about earlier, which we get into later, is that you had to include that number five. That number five, that big man was pivotal. He didn't have to have much point as the guard or swing forward. He didn't have to have all these abilities, but he was that garbage man to make sure that the rebounds and those dive balls was there. So this was important. So what I want to do is give you some real stats on that to show you exactly what we mean by how the guard has changed.
Okay.
So what I want to do is go to the 90s. The 90s era, and I'm going to say this is the previous era until again to the 2000 era. So what I've done was compile a list of 10 centers that was pivotal at that time, and not in any particular order. So
you talking about from the 90s?
From the 90s.
Okay.
So not in particular order. So I don't want you guys sitting back like, hey, how can you put them at number 1 or number 3 or number 4? Not in particular order. So let me go down this list here as we have it here. So I have Akeem Olajuwon.
The dream.
The dream himself. Now his average was 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. And this is career average now that I'm naming off these centers.
There we go.
Okay. Then we have the Admiral, David Robinson.
Admiral.
A little soft, but he's cool. He's cool. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Don't hurt me, David. You're hardcore.
David the champ, man.
Yeah, you're the champ, man. I'm playing with you, man.
2-time.
Oh, yeah, 2-time champ. That's real. Then you have Shaquille O'Neal.
The Diesel.
At 23 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Solid. Then we have Patrick Ewing. That fade back, right?
Big Pat.
Man. We have him at 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Then we have Zoe, Alonzo Mourning, at 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Then we had, no.
Get that out of here.
Dikembe Mutombo. We got him at 9 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Now that 9 points, remember I was saying before, not all the time these centers was giving these big
you can dominate on the defensive end of the floor too.
What don't show in the stats really showed out there on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Then we had Brad Daugherty. Yeah. ESPN analyst. Yes, most definitely. Over there with NASCAR, it's one back over.
So we must be at the end of this list.
Hey, but listen to this.
Brad was cold.
Oh yeah. Now Brad Daugherty, he averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Not bad. That's career average now. Then you have Rick Smith. He had 14 points, 6 rebounds in a block a game.
Rick.
Then you have Vlade Divac.
Vlade.
We have him at 11 points, 8 rebounds in a block. Then you have Kevin Willis. Yes, Kevin Willis in the 90s.
Top 10.
That's right. That's right. At 12 points, 8 rebounds a game. Now,
Kevin had a long career.
He had a long career. He did. Now, saying that and how we was saying how Kevin was almost the bottom of the list of these great centers, let's talk about the 2000 era. Now, the players I'm going to list, some of which are still playing. So this is their career average up to date as far.
As of now?
We have Nene. He's at 12 points, 6 rebounds a game. Theo Ratliff at 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. Chris Kanan, he's at 11 points, 7 rebounds a game. Andrew Bogut at 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block a game.
He's the first pick.
Yeah, first pick now.
05.
Jamal McGlure, he's at 7 points, 6 rebounds. And you have Marc Gasol at 14, 7, and then 1 block per game. Now, this is what I'm getting to. List the 10 that I had before previous in the 90s and then the 2000s. We see a shift. Something happened. The centers are not as pivotal as they once before, and they're not needed as much. Now, with the hand check rule being gone, now this happened some time ago, and given abilities for guards to showcase not only their talent but their athleticism, we have seen a spike. Now, I want to talk about the late 80s, early 90s rivalry against the Bulls and the Pistons. How the Pistons and, the bad boys of the NBA, how they played they kind of, defensive game. Now, if y'all don't know about the defensive game, you need to see that 30 for 30 tape. What was it called again? It was called just Bad Boys, right? Yeah. It was called Bad Boys. Check that out because you could actually see how the game was played. If you look at that, you're like, man, they was getting away with this. No text, no flagrants.
Right.
I'm telling you, the game was so different then. Now, Michael Jordan, rising, right, star of the NBA. At that time, this is before he won his titles. Now, he was even saying, this is kind of getting ridiculous. It's like we're playing street ball out here. You know what I'm saying? We're professional basketball players. These rules need to change a little. And it did. So, speaking of that, and I want to jump right into it. We are now in 2015. The NBA Finals has already passed us and gone. New season's going to come. What do we see from the champions, from the Golden State Warriors going to the Cavaliers? In terms of just changing the guard, what happened to the big man, P? Because lo and behold, I'm looking at the 5 out there and I don't see the big man.
Well, I thought the key adjustment was Game 4 of the NBA Finals. You seen the Golden State Warriors go with they reinserted Andre Iguodala in the starting lineup.
That's right.
Who eventually won the Finals MVP.
That's key.
By the way, they ended up moving Draymond Green.
That's right.
To the 5.
Yeah.
So you had all 6'8" and under guys in your starting lineup. Essentially, you had 3 forwards, 2 guards.
That's right.
That Game 4 I'm talking about, if I remember correctly, Timothy Mozgov went insane. He ended up with 28 points and 30 points.
Oh, yeah.
But Game 5, however, Cleveland downsized. The matchup with Golden State. I think Mozgov only ended up playing, 10, 11 minutes.
That's right.
So we've seen the big guy get taken out of the game. And I think this has been a long time coming as far as the change of the guard. We've seen an all-star ballot recently with Dwight Howard, who will be considered today the best center of the big guys of the last 5-10 years.
That's right.
He complained about the centers being taken off the ballot.
And remember his YouTube video, Save the Centers?
Save the Centers. So
it's real.
It's been a long time coming.
Right.
It's definitely happening.
That's right.
We see it's a more guard-oriented game.
That's right.
Point guards are not only distributing, but they're scoring leaders now. You got Steph Curry with the shot out there.
That's right.
And he's putting up a lot.
That's correct.
Damian Lillard takes a lot of shots. Derrick Rose, his MVP season, he put up a lot of shots.
Exactly.
You go down the list, point guards are now dominating the game.
That's right.
So with the 90s, we've seen the dominant center, but we also seen results that weren't so conducive to great ratings. There can be a multitude of reasons of why the NBA had changed the rules.
Right.
To make it more attractive to the fan, or a fan who doesn't watch as often as maybe a hardcore fan like myself do, just a casual fan. We see the Pistons versus the Spurs in the mid-2000s. They did not get high ratings in those NBA finals.
And that was the best display of defense I've ever seen. That was awesome, but it just doesn't get those ratings.
Old school rules and you're talking about the 90s. You've seen the Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls. Those teams won off rebounding and defense.
That's correct.
That was old school rules. The last team we seen really win that style of brand of basketball was the Lakers and the Celtics. And the
Lake Show.
Yeah, 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Or even 2008, you've seen the Celtics dominant defensive team. 2009, 2010, you've seen the Lakers win great defensive team, 2 big centers, 2 big trees down there, and they rebounding the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So that style of basketball has kind of phased out. Now we see more open court, spread the floor, shoot the 3. I watched the game.
A lot of 3s.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching 2K. I'm watching my 2 guys play 2K because they pulling up for 3s, and it's like, man, you had your guy dish it for the layup.
Oh yeah.
Well, so the game is definitely changing. It's been a long time coming. Now another reason for the game, as far as it being changed, is injuries to big guys.
Yes.
We've seen Greg Oden, who was a top pick.
Yes, sir.
Andrew Bogut, who you listed as a center from 2000, was the first pick. We've seen some of these players didn't pan out. Yao Ming actually played very well. Was a really good player, but can stay healthy.
That's right.
So I'm not sure they can rely on the big guy as far as to carry the sport, to carry that baton.
Right.
Can he stay healthy? Guards are more marketable. Allen Iverson, you've seen him come in. Now you see the new guards coming in. So there can be a multitude of reasons as far as why the game has changed.
Right.
But one thing I do see is the NBA is moving towards more of a global game. It has been for quite some time. But not everybody can play that grit and grind, muck it up style of basketball.
Exactly.
So to implement some of these newer guys, from France, where you have a Tony Parker or Nicholas Batum. You have players from all walks of life.
That's right.
In his NBA, and it's more attractive, in my opinion.
It is
for this the whole global aspect to have a game where it's more free flowing. Guys are able to display their full capabilities, their skill sets. Then when guys are beating up on you, do I miss real defense? You know what I mean? And real defense rebounding and guys being able to every play.
None of that, man.
We definitely missed that, but I don't know how else to say it, but the game is soft now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just put it like that. That's just what it is. Everything has to evolve, however.
Yes,
and we're in a great generation. I still love the game of basketball.
That's awesome. It is.
I like the new pick and roll.
No doubt.
Spread the floor and dish it out for three. It's a much more simpler game.
That's right.
But I like the style of basketball. So I think we're gonna continue to see this game evolve in that fashion. Last thing I do want to say is the centers you still need a center to win. In my opinion, I think what Golden State is doing and the reason we're covering this so hard is close to being edgy now.
That's correct.
It's close to being edgy to where can Roy Hibbert still play when the Lakers this year when they score off with the Golden State Warriors, will Roy Hibbert be able to? Will they take him out the game? Dwight Howard, can he stay on the floor? Do you downsize? I don't foresee in the next few years, and I'm taking off some of these really big time players.
Right. Now, what I want to actually add into before we conclude about the centers is, like, if you look at a DeMarcus Cousins or you look at an Anthony Davis, now they're more than just your typical big man under the hoop. They actually can shoot the ball as well, so they can come off and get off that way. With that said, how do you think Okafor and Towns will fare? Like,
it's a great question.
Seeing that Cousins and Anthony Davis style of basketball.
Oh yeah.
Is this what you have to have now in your arsenal to be a big man? Because think about it. If all you can do right now is just get those garbage buckets and put it back in, will you be in the playoffs like Andrew Bogut and not see those minutes like you did?
Great question, because I believe that was the deciding factor. But here in Minnesota, with the Timberwolves just electing to go with Karl Anthony Towns instead of Jahlil Okafor with the center position, and the Lakers ultimately passed him on Okafor.
That's right.
Is the style of play. Towns seems like more of a modern day center where he can get the ball off the board. He can run in transition. Guy can shoot the ball. He's not so dependent on post points, back to the basket points, mucking up the game as far as just clogging up that lane.
Right.
To where you see Jahlil Okafor, very polished big guy. Skill set is insane to be 19 as far as his post moves.
Right.
Isn't as athletic, however. He labors up and down the floor. Watching him run, I'm like, man, he's kind of laboring, but he's a.
This is what? This is 3. That's the third center that they picked, man.
Their third center, because they had an MB last year, and he got hurt, and Noel else got hurt as well. But so I look forward to seeing how this plays out. It's very interesting. Ultimately, I believe Okafor will kill anyway. If he's able to stay here, he will dominate. I don't see how you downsize against him when literally you have to double team every trip once he getting his rhythm, finding his way in this league. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, in my opinion. I like Karl Anthony Towns as well. I'm a bigger Okafor fan because, again, I'm still a traditionalist. I still like how the big guys used to do it.
Yeah.
He seems like more. I understand what I'm getting with him. Yeah. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns' upside is huge. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. But we also had some interesting developments over the summer with watching some of their play. And this has been happening for years with free agency. Guys get a little bit older in their career, and they decide it's time to win a championship ring.
That's correct. Now, saying that, and when they get older into their year, these vets that's entering and exiting out, the reason why we're talking about the Golden Ring is because we felt that it was very interesting what David West did in the contract he got.
Oh, yeah.
Spurs.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, this is now entering the Golden Ring. Now, how important is it for an NBA player to end his legacy with the ring? Now, again, the NBA is a business. And yes, us as consumers and sports enthusiasts, we do want to see the players being loyal, and we do want them to see taking pay cuts because we hoping they stay. Now, The reason why I bring that up is because most of you probably don't see the game for what it is, and you probably see these players and say, "Hey, you already making millions of bucks. What's wrong with taking $10 or $8 million less?" But I'll tell you what's wrong with it. At your current position and where you're asked to perform, if your job downsizes and they add more responsibility to you and turn around and ask you to take less pay, how would you feel? Now, yes, they're getting paid astronomical type of dollars more than you.
Yeah,
but follow me on this.
Okay.
It's about your value. If you're valued at $50 million, why are you taking 10? What I'm saying is, if you go into an institution of higher learning, is that good economics? Is that good business? Now, if I'm a team owner, why would I take a cut? My whole point is to get profit.
Right.
Now, this is speaking to all corporations or non-profit corporations. Their objective is to accumulate dollars. Their objective is to make money. So, if you are a player in the NBA and your objective is to get the most dollars where you're valued at, why not take that value? So the only reason why I felt that's very interesting with David West, and he's towards the end of his career, perhaps maybe he did invest well and he's okay and he's able to afford taking this pay cut. But at the same time, I don't believe he's valued just at this $1 million mark. Now, P, is it because this brand new TV deal, the reason why he took this deal is maybe because there's a different discussion that we don't know about, that they're promising something?
And that's where it gets tricky to me because again, we don't want to allege that anything illegal is happening.
Exactly.
We don't have that knowledge.
Right.
However,
no doubt. And then again, this is us just speaking freely, so we can understand more what's happening in the inner workings. Because now you only see the polish, right?
Right. Because we've seen Andre Karolinko turn down millions with the Timberwolves a few years ago here to go play with the Brooklyn Nets. This was 2 seasons ago.
That's right.
He had a guaranteed $8 or $9 million. He ended up signing for the veteran minimum with the Brooklyn Nets, and we all thought, "Whoa, why would you leave all that money on the table to go play in Brooklyn?" I knew it was a championship opportunity, but it didn't seem like it made much business sense. So we look at the same situation with David West. But let's look at what happened with Dwayne Wade when he sacrificed millions of dollars in 2010, which, in my opinion, created today's NBA. CBA in the landscape of the league. It was the precedent that they negotiated off. Whenever you have your star players take a pay cut in the prime of their career, it's not good for business, in my opinion.
It's not.
Just because you guys are not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting the future stars of the game. You know, you guys set the precedent. Right. If you take a pay cut, well, why wouldn't they expect the next guy to take a pay cut? So I've never seen an owner take a pay cut to win a championship. So I've always thought that philosophy was quite foolish.
Right.
Just in my opinion. Sometimes there's circumstances that we may not know about, whether it's a family member need medical attention or it's a greater calling, whether it's religion purposes and they feel like they need to be in a certain space. And I respect that decision.
No doubt.
But you never want to see players advocate and continue to take pay cuts. Again, with Dwayne Wade, I thought it was unfortunate that he had to come to the media to pretty much negotiate his contract this past season.
That's correct.
To where it looked like that Miami wanted him to opt out of his deal.
Yes.
For the second consecutive year. Let's keep in mind, last season, 2014, he opted out of a 2-year, $40 million contract, and to give this team some savings. And it's not the only time he's taken a pay cut. Wade, 3-time NBA champion, has never been the highest paid player on his team. So let's keep that in mind. And they continue to ask this guy to take cuts. Now his health has been very iffy over the last few years. He's been hurt, so I understand both sides. But business-wise, pay him what you owe him. And Jim Buss recently made a comment about Kobe Bryant. And Bryant's been hurt. They gave him $48 million over 2 years. And Buss say, "Hey, you look at what I did for him, but look at what he did for the Laker organization and Laker Nation in the NBA. So these guys, let's stop separating business from what a guy's worth on the basketball court. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. Don't tell me we'll leave out. No, we're not leaving out no basketball.
That's right.
Or we're not leaving out the business.
Right.
Because and most people, critics will say that, hey, these guys need to collectively bargain for a better deal.
That's right.
And, otherwise you don't make the team and the fans suffer. But I say the players need to stay strong and sign better deals.
That's right. Now we speak about the golden ring again, and we attacking the players. Now I want to put it on the owners. Now, if they want to win this golden ring, why did the big three have to take cuts in order for them to establish this? And the big three I'm referring to was the Miami Heat at the time.
And why did they cut payroll after winning back-to-back championships? Why did you get rid of Mike Miller, who was very essential to winning a championship?
Exactly.
Particularly in 2012 when Miami Heat beat the the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's correct.
He went insane from downtown. How come they cutting payroll? But these guys still out there busting their behind.
That's what I'm saying. So exactly. So this golden ring theory, and mind you, if it's true to the player, then it should be true to the owner. If anybody's taking cuts, everybody around that board should be taking cuts, right? So if the corporation itself, and we've seen it with the stock market and with these corporations, financial corporations, even bailouts, how is it that you're asking for money, but then giving yourselves bonus, but then cutting the pay raise and laying off employees? Doesn't sound quite right. But the only reason why we're giving the owners a pass for these NBA players that they're paying, because they're paying them millions upon millions.
Millions upon millions.
But remember, this is it. Whatever money they accrued up to this point, hey, the game may not be there for them tomorrow. And some of these contracts are not always guaranteed. And the lifestyle change. I hear you guys out there. I would have did different. I would have did better. I would still have that money. You never know. Because if you was never educated on how to handle that type of investment or money, and you just never come from that background, you can't really speak upon it. So what I'm saying is that with the golden ring, not only that players should take cuts, the owners too. So how is it important? How is it, or how big of importance is it? If it is, then the entire organization, and yes, the owners, I'm talking about the entire team, should take that cut. Why not? You want to win a ring? Fine. From the owners all the way down, everybody take cuts. But I don't want to hear it where the player has to take the cut and the owner stays fat and he gets the ring. Come on, man.
And then he cuts payroll next season. The moral to the story is, guys, taking a pay cut, is it smart? Is it not so smart? Viewers out there watching us here, please chime in. Let us know what you think. What's your opinion on this? Do you want the star of your team taking a pay cut? Do you really care about him? Is it more about the team? Are you a fan of the player? Are you the fan of the organization? And for the players out there, to leave you with something, taking a pay cut may not be the smartest decision for you down the line.
That's right.
I remember Sprewell, this wasn't a pay cut, but he turned down almost $20 million that the Bulls offered him.
Yeah. And
he asked how he was going to feed his family. So just make sure that at the end of the day, we do what Mobb Deep taught us to do.
Let's hit it off, Peter.
And that's only sign deals if the math is real.
That's so true.
And you got to keep it thorough. Tune back in with us. We come and hit you right back with something else spectacular, man.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it thorough.
All right, be easy.